not fair. Why does he have a bigger pizza than me? We are going to be doing some spicy drama. After that, we are going to be learning how to tell an amazing story, and we'll be finding a Noor Kids All-Star. If you're ready, let's begin. When I was 7 years old, my mom would make some ooey gooey homemade pizzas. When my mom would make dinner, she would make extra, so that way the very next day, we would be able to take it for lunch. One of the times when my mom gave me pizza, I wasn't very happy. It's because when I looked over and I saw my brother's piece, I saw that his was bigger. I thought to myself, man, this is not fair. Why does he have a bigger pizza than me? So I called him out on it. I said, hey, Muhammad, your pizza's bigger and that's not fair. As I said that, there was a gentleman who overheard us. His name was Travis. Travis piped in. He said, oh, what's going on here, guys? And I told him what was happening. I said, my mom gave us both pizzas. My brother's is bigger than mine, and it's not fair. Travis looked at my pizza. He looked at my brother's. He said, you know what? You're right. I know how to solve it. He took out a little knife, and he cut a little piece off of my brother's pizza. He popped it into his mouth. He chewed it, and he said, there we go. Equal size pizzas. Easy peasy. But as Travis finished, my brother got a little bit angry. He said, hey man, Travis, you took too big of a piece. Now my piece is smaller than Amin's. He said, look, it worked once, so why don't we try it again? He took out his little knife. He made a small incision like a pizza surgeon. He took that, put it into his mouth, and he said, there we go. But as he started walking away, I said, hey buddy, not so fast. Now mine is smaller than my brother's. So again, he took out his little knife. He made a small incision as if he was a pizza surgeon. He popped it into his mouth. And I think you know where this is headed. Travis continued and continued and continued and continued and continued until there was no pizza left. Now here's the thing. I know that each of you have been in a similar position before, where maybe you were with your brother or your sister and you said, that is not fair. How come they get to sleep late and I don't? How come their pizza is so big and mine is so small? How come they get to go to the museum and I have to stay home? I've been there. But here's the thing. When it comes to family, it is better to forgive than it is to try and be fair. Why? Well, you'll end up losing like I did with the pizza. But today, we are asking a question. Dare I say, a big question! Why do we need to be fair? Seriously, why do we need to be fair? Well, in order to answer that question, we gotta mosey on over to the library, or some like to say, La Biblioteca. Let's go. Have you ever seen a play? And if so, what was the name of it? Hey, assalamu alaikum, Hanya. How are you doing, my dear?
Wa alaikum assalam.
So now tell me about the play that you were in.
No, actually I was in grade 3. I don't remember really well. So I was the main character, and it didn't really care if it was a boy or girl. I actually volunteered to be the mother, and then the teacher's like, No, you have a very strong voice, and there's lots of people in the audience who can't hear very well. For example, like my grandpa. So like she asked me, and she's like, "No skipping school," and I was like, "How am I gonna do that? I mean, I'm gonna freak out. Like, my mom doesn't know how to drive."
So, but Hanya, were you a little bit scared, like when you were in the play?
I was sitting in the car, like the pretend car we made out of cardboard. I have like one Muslim friend. She was the mother. Her name's Reem. Reem was like, "Are you freaking out?" And I'm like, "I can shoot out of here to the moon. I just don't have any rocket blasters."
Oh my goodness. So it's kind of, but I'm sure it ended up going well. Did it go pretty well?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Plays are incredible. And in today's Nora Kids story, we are going to be learning about this art of theater and this art of storytelling. If you're ready, let's begin. Mr. Salman's class is learning about theater. Shireen is the director of the class play. This year, our class will be performing Velveteen Cat. We need actors and artists to help with the play. Auditions will be today in the auditorium after school. Hearing this, Amira says to herself, "I am going to be a star." Back in her desk, Shireen tries to get Amira's attention. "Amira, I wanted to ask you..." "Oh, Shireen, I've been practicing the lines all week. I'll get the lead role, right?" "Well," says Shireen, "after all, we are best friends." Amira wants Shireen to pick her for the lead role. The time for the auditions arrive. One after another, each student reads lines from the play, showcasing their best acting skills. Shireen scores each performance in her notebook. Amira performs well. As she leaves the stage, she whispers to Shireen, "I'm best for this role," says Amira to her friend. Sarah also auditions. She performs even better. "Sarah was the best," says one of them. "Sarah will surely get the lead," says another one. Shireen doesn't know what to do. She has to make a choice. All right, you guys, before we go on, a couple of questions. Let me go to the audience. Okay, so now Alia, question for you. Does it matter who Shireen picks? Does it even matter?
I don't know, because Amira is actually really good at art, so I think Amira should be picked.
But in the auditions, like Shireen said that Sarah did a better job. Do you think it would be fair to Sarah if she picks Amira?
Actually, I think Sarah should be it, because then Sarah practiced really hard, but just because Amira is her friend, she could get the role, but I think Sarah's better for it.
This is a really interesting question, because I promise you, here's the thing, and everyone who's watching, you will find yourself in a similar situation at some point in time in your life. Do you pick the person who is the best? Or do you play favorites and give something to your friend or your family member because you guys are like BFFs, right? Let's see what happens here. At the end of the auditions, the performers come back to the auditorium. Everyone is waiting. Shireen thinks to herself, "It doesn't feel right, but I can't disappoint my friend. The lead role will go to Amira," says Shireen. The first day of rehearsal is a disaster. The second day of rehearsal is not much better. The third day of rehearsal is just as bad. Amira realizes that she pressured Shireen to choose her. "Oh no, what have I done?" she thinks to herself. "Shireen, can I ask you something?" says Amira. "Yeah, sure," says Shireen. "Did you pick me for the part because I'm your friend or because I had the best audition?" Well, I knew you wanted the lead role so bad, and Shireen, I was wrong to pressure you, says Amira. Even though I want this role, I know Sarah is better at acting than I am. She should be the lead character. Thanks, Amira, says Shireen. I hope Sarah can forgive me, says Amira. Now here's the thing. This story is really interesting. It wasn't just that Shireen did something by treating her other friends unfairly. There was a lot of negative repercussions. There was a lot of bad things that happened because of her decision. Now, that is why in Islam, we are always fair no matter what, even if it is with our own family. Once, our Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be on him, was in a tough situation. The people in Mecca were in an argument because they had to decide where and who was going to be moving Al-Hajar al-Aswad. The people decided that the next man who came and walked through the gates would be the one who decides. It was our Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be. Now, in that moment, he could have acted unfairly. He could have said, well, my family is the one who's going to move it. But he didn't. He devised a solution where he took a piece of cloth, and every tribe grabbed one of the corners of the cloth, and he placed Al-Hajar al-Aswad in the middle of that cloth. And in doing so, all of the various tribes had the ability to have the honor to move this blessed rock. And that's why our Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be on him, is known as As-Sadiq and Al-Amin, the honest and the trustworthy. Even when it's tough to do, we have to be fair. Otherwise, we lose our honesty and we lose our ability to be trustworthy. All right, now with that said, I'm really excited to talk about drama. Spicy drama! And that is what we are going to be talking about today. But we gotta head on over to the labs. Let's do it. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna be asking each person something, and then I'm gonna give myself 60 seconds, and I'm gonna try to create the awesomest story ever. Now you guys are gonna pick and decide whether it's a good story or not. And then after that, I'm gonna teach you how to create your own stories, okay? So, Arham, I need first your help, okay? What I want from you is I want you to think about what is a place that you really, really love.
I'd say Walmart.
So Arham, you picked a place. Now Bintu, tell me about a real person that is living right now that you would love to meet.
LeBron James.
Now we are gonna go to the Habisha family. Is there any problems that like are more silly in nature? That are maybe problems that kids experience?
Water shortage.
A water shortage. All right, you guys, so here's the thing. Walmart, LeBron James, water shortage. I now have 60 seconds to try to come up with the best story ever. Guys, this is tough. This is really tough, but I'm gonna do it. I am 7 years old. I wake up in the morning and then I jump into the shower. But when I hopped into the shower and I turned my hand onto the knob and I moved it, there was no water that came out. I went downstairs and I said, hey mom, what's going on? I'm trying to take a shower. I gotta do ghusl before Eid and the water isn't turning on. That's when she said, Amin, it appears that our city is out of water. I said, well, where are we gonna go get the water? She She said, well, let's hop into the van and go to Walmart. We went to the Walmart, and as we were going up and down the various lines, we didn't see any water. But then we ran into something. LeBron James. I couldn't have missed her. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, is that really LeBron James? And then I discovered, no, it actually wasn't actually him. It was just a cutout. They had a cutout of him because they were selling cards. And regardless, we did find some water. Alhamdulillah, when we got home, the faucet turned on and everything was okay. But on that day, I learned a very important lesson. I learned about how valuable water is. The end. All right, you guys, let me ask you first, Khalid and Habisha family, what do you think? Scale of 1 to 10.
I thought it was amazing.
You really liked it?
It's like really amazing that you made that in 60 seconds. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. Okay, all right. I appreciate it. All right, so now look, you guys. I actually want to teach you how I write stories, okay? So this here is a lot of words, but it actually describes the 4 parts of every single story, all right? So an exposition is at the very beginning of the story. And that's where we introduce the character and give a little bit of background information. The second part is what's called rising action. Rising action is when the story starts to get a little bit more interesting. Something isn't going as planned. Now, finally, the third part is called climax. Climax is the sharpest part of the story, okay? That is when someone is sitting on the edge of their seat to say, oh my goodness, what is going to happen next? And then the fourth part is resolution. The resolution is where we talk about what happens and what we learned from it. So those are the 4 parts of every story when someone is telling it. Now look, you guys, this is one challenge that I'm really excited about because I love stories.